Hi again, everyone, and welcome into Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien alongside Elise Jesse, where the Bengals, well, they win 31-14. They were up 24-0 over the Browns at halftime, and this was a game, heck, you might have turned off at some point during the game, and they give up a couple scores in the fourth quarter, but the results were the results, and I don't want to talk as much about the game, even though this is a post-game report, but let's start with some of the milestones. Joe Mixon, 80 rushing yards in the first quarter. He needed 77 to get to 1,000 for the fourth time in his career. He does that. He hit some incentives. Jamar Chase, 100 receptions, gets his 4 catches. Everyone really got what they were hoping for, except for Trey Hendrickson. Falls just short of the NFL lead in sacks, finishes with 17.5 on the year, but overall, pretty solid day for the Bengals. They get the win. They finish 9-8, and a lot of these guys reach the milestones they were hoping for.
Yeah, I mean, those milestones obviously come with monetary incentives, so I'm sure a few of them were quite excited. And if you're the Cincinnati Bengals coaching staff, especially Marion Hobby, I think I would be really impressed with Trey Hendrickson, because we all know how most of the time players are super productive in their contract year, and then as soon as they sign a deal almost, like that production goes sort of back to baseline, right? Trey Hendrickson has one of the most productive seasons of his career. That's impressive after signing a new deal.
Yeah, no doubt. He signed that one-year extension, and let's keep it with the offense for a bit and Joe Mixon. And who knows about that running back room? Who knows about Tyler Boyd? I mean, there's a lot that we're going to discuss in this video. Is this the last game for some of these guys? Before that, let's talk about T. Higgins. Inactive today. Didn't see him in the locker room after the game. He's dealing with a hamstring injury. We know he suffered it last week, and we don't know about him. We don't know if T. Higgins is going to be back next year. Set to be a free agent. The Bengals can franchise tag him. I think the deadline is March 7th for that. I expect that to happen, but it's also fair to wonder if he's played his last game as a Bengal. Tyler Boyd, has he played his last game as a Bengal? 2 wide receivers that aren't under contract for next season.
Especially when you see players like Andrei Iosivas able to be productive. He had his 4th touchdown, 2 touchdowns in today's game, 4 for the season, and he is strong, tall, powerful. I mean, he is a real threat that they could utilize. And obviously, no team is going to look the exact same as the previous year. I think they all know that. But some of these guys have really been in the locker room for a very long time. There's some of the holdovers, Tyler Boyd especially, the holdovers from the Marvin Lewis era.
And Tyler Boyd, that's the one that I think we should focus on, because it wasn't just Iosivas. Also, Charlie Jones today had the 35-yard reception, was as involved as we've seen him. And I think they wanted to see, hey, can we give this guy more touches? Can we get him going into the offseason the right way, knowing he needs to work on some things, because they may need a new slot receiver. With Tyler Boyd, his contract is up. He did have the drop today. A couple of things there. It was a drop. It should have been caught. Also, if Jake, and Jake Browning talked about this afterwards, if he drives the ball down the field, it's a touchdown, and Tyler had to adjust. Should have caught it. I'm not defending that. I think it's worth at least some context. And we did post Jake Browning as well. We also posted Tyler Boyd, which was really notable, especially because Jake Browning interrupted Boyd and said how much he valued him on the team, how much he appreciated after the 3 interceptions against Pittsburgh. Boyd saying, shake it off. It's not a big deal. And downplaying it and encouraging him so he could bounce back the right way, his leadership and his presence on the team. So also said he hopes he's back next season. Yeah. So who knows?
I mean, Tyler Boyd has been here as a Bengal for so long, and he's been a star at different points, and he's been productive in previous years as well. And I think other players that have come in, especially the young ones, he's taught a lot of them how to watch film. He's taught a lot of them how to go about their game, how to be a pro. So for them, some of the younger guys, I mean, losing Tyler Boyd is kind of like losing a mentor in the league.
And so we'll see what happens. You talked with Joe Mixon, and it's something we'll have here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. You talked about with Mixon about their bond. Mixon came in 2017. Boyd came in 2016. Both second-round picks. Both were on really bad Bengals teams. Obviously, the Bengals have been really good, 3 straight winning seasons now. What was that like? What was your takeaway from that conversation?
It seemed like Joe Mixon was very uncertain about the future. I think a lot of them are uncertain about the future and whether or not they'll be back as a Bengal. And I asked him about just the bond that they have shared, because, you know, they came in, as you said, 16 and 17. and both of them went through really thin Bengals years. They went through a coaching change. At one point, the team had only won 2 games one year, lose 2 seasons where they lost Joe Burrow, and then they had the highs where they went to the AFC Championship and then they competed in a Super Bowl. So both of those players have seen every aspect of the NFL and the highs and lows of this league, and I think what they have to say is valuable to the young guys, and I think they will have a bond forever because of that.
Yeah, no doubt. Tyler Boyd did say that the highlight of his Bengals tenure, if it is over right now, was appearing in Super Bowl 56. And obviously they came close against the Rams in that one. But a couple stats now, because we have plenty of time to discuss the offseason. The Bengals finished 9-8. They'll draft 18th overall, by the way, which means we have plenty of draft coverage coming your way now that we know where the Bengals will pick. But they finished 9-8 and 4th in the AFC North. This is the first time an NFL division, all of the teams in that division have finished with above a 500 record since 1935.
Yeah.
Best division in football, hands down, best division in football. That's insane to me. I told Cam Taylor-Britt that, and he was like, dang, it's been a minute, huh?
He's so funny. No, I mean, not everyone, but there's a lot of national talk about the AFC North being such a tough division. We always speak about it because we see the AFC North division games year in and year out, and now, the records back that up in a big way. And that just says if this Cincinnati Bengals team is not making big steps to get better in 2024, they better watch out, because the other 3 teams are certainly going to make sure that they are getting better to compete with guys like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. No
doubt. And Jamar Chase, 100 receptions, 3rd Bengals player to reach that mark. And I know I mentioned that, but he joins TJ Houshmandzadeh, 112 in 2007, Carl Pickens with 100, and I believe it was 96. I think it was 96. So, yeah, Jamar Chase is now tied there. But, look, it's a winning season. Mm-hmm. It's certainly not what the Bengals were expecting going into this year. Coming out of this year, they have a lot to work on. There's a lot of uncertainty. And so this is a good time to remind them that Cincinnati Bengals Talk doesn't take a break. We will be here all off season long. And Andrew Foxmiller is sweating right now because that means he's got to edit way more and way more. But, yeah, it was a fun year, a winning year. Just we're ending it a little earlier than the past couple of seasons.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting to reflect and look at where this franchise has come. 2020, the last time that Joe Burrow had a season-ending injury, the team went 4-11-1, and at that time, not a lot of people were showing up to these games. The year previous to 2019, I mean, you could barely get people in here, in these seats to watch these games sometimes. And today, they have not a lot to play for outside of a winning record. Mm-hmm. They're not in the playoffs. They've already been eliminated, and over 65,000 people came to watch this team compete with a shell team that the Browns put out today. Yep. It says a lot.
It does. They did finish, by the way, with a 4-3 record with Jake Browning as a starter. They deserve credit for that as well.
Yeah.
We will certainly have you covered here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk all off-season long. For Elise Jesse, I'm James Rapien. Also, shout out to Andrew Foxmiller. Thank you so much for watching. As the Bengals end the season on the note that they hope to, a 31-14 win over the Cleveland Browns.